Hi everyone, Kristina here. Welcome to another card video at my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm going to be using this stamp set called I See You. It's from the October 2015 card kit from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to start off by prepping some watercolor paper with my EK Success powder tool. I'm going to be doing some stamping and embossing, and prepping the surface with the powder just makes it so that I get a cleaner embossed image. The ink I'm using today is actually a gold pigment ink that comes in the card kit. It's a really nice shimmery gold ink, and I wanted to use it as a barrier or kind of like a resist for watercoloring, but because I want it to resist the color, I'm going to be using some clear embossing powder over the top. So first I stamped this kind of faceted heart image in that gold pigment ink. Now I'm applying some Ranger clear embossing powder. This is the fine detailed embossing powder, and I heat set that with my heat tool until it was completely melted. And that makes the surface of this gold ink super shiny, and it gives it a little bit of a metallic look, but more than that, it makes it resist any watercoloring I put over top. I'm going to be using some Peerless watercolors today. So I've taped down my watercolor paper onto a board here, and I propped it up using some clear acrylic blocks. You could use anything you have on hand just to prop your work surface up. I just wanted a little bit of an incline that will help me get a nice fade or a nice wash with all these colors. Starting out with some Robin's Egg Blue. This is from the bonus pack of Peerless watercolors. I really love this blue color. I'm now using Sky Blue, which is from the original pack. And you'll notice that I have on my palette over there, I've labeled all of them with BP or OR. That stands for bonus pack or original pack. Now using some Cobalt Blue just to finish off that color down at the very bottom. I particularly love this color combination. It looks so refreshing and cool and almost like the ocean to me. It looks really nice. For the area around the heart, I'm going to be using some Pearl Gray, and I've used a little bit of that and put it on my palette here. I have a clear piece of acetate that separates each fold or each sheet in my Peerless watercolor palette. So that acetate protects each side of my palette, but it also gives me a slick surface that I can use in instances like this where I want the color, but I want to add quite a bit more water to it to soften it and fade it back a bit. That Pearl Gray was a little bit too strong on its own after I pulled it from my little square that I've cut out. So I moved that color onto that slick acetate and then added a lot of water. And that makes it so that it's watered down and is quite lighter than the original color that I pulled from the Peerless sheet. So I'm just adding more color around those edges. I'll then take my blocks away so that it's a flat surface, and I'm going to add a little bit more water just around the edges, trying to get that faded out, and then hit that with the heat tool. I want it to be completely dry so that I can move on to adding some water. I'm using my Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer water bottle, and I did a few little spritzes with the water bottle, and then I sprayed it into my hand and let my hand drip onto the surface here. That's because I wanted some larger water droplets. When you use the sprayer, you get a little bit more of a fine mist, but when you spray it into your hand and let it drop, you get larger water droplets. And I wanted a mixture of both. So I'm going to take my paper towel here in a minute. I'm just letting this sit to let that water absorb. Now I'm going to take my paper towel and pick up some of that pigment. What this does is it just reactivates that Peerless watercolor that's underneath the water, and it makes it so I can pull it up away from the surface. I'm going to add a few more water droplets with my hand and then pull that up with my paper towel, and that's going to give me a nice variation in color and give it a little more interest to all of these washes. I definitely could have left it the way it was. I think it was really pretty by itself, but adding these water droplets just adds a little bit more in my opinion. So I took a black piece of cardstock and I stamped a couple of sentiments from the stamp set on it in some Versamark ink. Then I applied some Hero Arts white embossing powder just to make those greetings stand out on this black cardstock. This cardstock is from Simon Says Stamp actually, and I did prep it with my powder tool before stamping in my Versamark ink. Hit that with my heat tool until it's completely melted. And then I took the ampersand stamp from the stamp set and stamped that in some VersaFine Onyx black ink onto some white cardstock. Then took my scissors and very carefully trimmed this out, leaving a white border around the outside edge. This is going to help that stand out against the watercolor background I'll be putting on top of. My card base today is made out of some Neenah Solar White cardstock. This is the 110-pound version, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 to create a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. I then cut down my 2 little sentiments and put some foam adhesive on the back. Use my tweezers to apply all of those individual pieces to the watercolor piece. By the way, I did cut down that watercolor piece to be about 5 inches wide by 3 3/4 tall. I also took the small heart stamp. There are actually 2 small heart stamps there. This one is the one that's just more plain. And I'm stamping that 3 times in some of that VersaFine Onyx black ink. Just wanted 3 little hearts. I then decided that I wanted to add the border from the stamp set, and I wanted it to look like it was going behind the heart. So I stamped just one side of the heart on some masking paper, trimmed that out, and applied that over the top of that watercolored heart. This is going to protect that area while I stamp over top. So I applied that border stamp to my compact stamp press, and then I applied some VersaFine black onyx ink, or onyx black ink, and then stamped that over the top. And I want to make sure that it's only over that area that has the mask on it. And I'll just press down, and this gives this a nice grounded feel. It just grounds that whole area because everything's looking pretty random, not very organized. And just putting that little bit of border behind the heart makes it look a little bit more stabilized on the background. I rounded those corners with a 1/4 inch corner rounder, then I mounted it to the card. And that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching today's card video. This is actually part of a blog hop for the card kit. So if you'd like some more inspiration for the October 2015 card kit from Simon Says Stamp, please click on my blog. There's a link in the top corner here, or you can go to kwernerdesign.com. On screen are 3 of my most recent videos. I have a lettering and watercolor with Peerless Watercolors, have some traditional watercoloring over a masked stamped image, and then a fun birthday shaker card. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys next time.